I'm Brandon.
And I'm Kristin.
And just talk a little bit about our story. And one of the big changes that came in our marriage and our faith walk, I think, a little bit was getting back to that biblical concept of the Sabbath. And it unfortunately took us a while to get around to that. We were probably married 7-8 years before we really got into that, digging into it, and it seemed like, I don't know, for the longest time it was impossible to even consider taking one day of the week off because we had so much to do, and then kids started showing up, and it was like, there's no way without doing laundry and projects and the yard work and things like that we can't take one day, half of our weekend out of it.
To be honest, I didn't even realize that Sabbath was something that wasn't just legalistic in the Bible, that it was actually for us also. I knew about the practice of Sabbath in the Bible, but I didn't realize that it was an opportunity and a gift for us today.
Yeah.
And I am naturally, I would say, maybe a driven person.
You might say that. That's fine.
And so yeah, we would work hard all week. We've got 4 kids at home. I'm a stay-at-home mom. He works outside of the home, but we're both hustlers. We've got big families. We've got lots of things to do, lots of things we want to do. Whether we crammed in fun or chores, we did it all week and all weekend long. And I got to the point where I would experience something called the Sunday blues,
Yes.
we would call it.
Yeah.
I would just be burnt out, so exhausted, whether...
From the week behind us, and
Oh,
then
absolutely.
looking ahead of going, and we've got all this ahead of us.
Exactly.
So.
And even if it was fun things that we were doing with the family, it just felt exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah, and then...
Or even if I would rest or read a book, I would feel guilt about it. Like, there's so much to do.
Right.
We really shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, and then it was also like, it's a counterculture thing. So we would try to explain to people like, well, I don't know, you got any plans on Sunday? Not really, we'll go to church and, well, you gotta come over and do this, or we're having this event or this party and you gotta go to that. And it didn't seem like we were doing the right thing by telling them, we can't do that. So we would just accommodate, and it just got to where it was a grind that wasn't really enjoyable.
Absolutely. So I had been listening to a lot of different podcasts, and I've been hearing these people talk about them practicing Sabbath, and I got really interested, like, that's interesting. So yeah, God rested on the 7th day, but not because he had to, but because he was being an example for us. He knew that we would need rest. And even before there was sin, he knew that we would need rest in our week and every single week. Now we can say, like, that's the best thing ever. We look forward to Sundays.
Yeah.
That's our Sabbath day. It can be any day or any set amount of time. But
yeah, we kind of we try to not be like crazy legalistic about it.
Right.
Because we're not trying to take the joy and the blessing out of it just by checking things off the box, right?
Right.
We go to church, and we traditionally go to early service, do that. There's a grocery pickup on the way home.
Absolutely.
And it takes us 15 minutes. We do that. And so we're not completely outlawing everything, but we do what we do, and then we get home, and then there's no TV, no electronics for the kids, and It's kind of like whatever brings you joy or refuels you, recharges you a little bit. So for some people, that could be taking a nap on Sunday with no guilt, or it could be going for a run on Sunday with no guilt. I mean, we're pretty loose about that, other than it has to be no electronics and it has to be at home, and either it's your own thing or with the family. We try to stay together.
Right. So our kids practice Sabbath also. They also love it.
Yeah.
We kind of try to filter everything through the lens of, is it rest and is it worship? And if it falls into those categories, and it's different from you than what it is for me, Right. I love to work out during the week. That can feel like extra effort or feel like I'm trying to achieve something. On Sundays, I'm not striving for a new goal or whatever. I'm outside. That's my big thing. I need to be outside, whether I'm walking or in the summer swimming in the pond or whatever. And I'm also not using that time to like catch up on all the podcasts that I've missed that week and trying to learn some new things. It's rest, it's worship music, or it's just emptiness. It's for some intentional space to have conversation with God, to be grateful for all the things, and to worship.
Yeah. And then for me, it's outdoors as much as I can. I really enjoy that. So if it's running a chainsaw or working in the garden or messing with trees or whatever, like that's me being outside is a very peaceful, worshipful time for me. So, you know, I don't think if I told you to jump on the chainsaw on a Sunday, it would feel like a Sabbath.
Might not feel like rest and worship.
Yeah, but for me it works. And that's kind of been our driving force. And for several years now we've been doing that. And I don't look forward to Friday nights as much. I mean, it's fun and Saturdays are fun, but we kind of yearn for Sundays now. And somehow things get done, the house is still together, somehow taking away 1/7 of a week took nothing away. It actually increased our life and our
absolutely.
It's been a blessing.
Huge blessing. Also that verse from Mark where it says that Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So it's not going to be the same for everybody as long as you are thinking about, is it rest and worship? Yeah. So yeah, our kids are also outside a lot, and I will say it does take some prep work on the front end. You don't just wake up and decide, I'm not doing anything today. We think about food prep and things like that. So I cook all week long. Our Sabbath rhythm now is that Brandon grills on Sunday nights, which I love, he loves, he enjoys doing. We do end our Sabbath together, eating dinner on the family room floor, watching Bunny's Home Videos or The Chosen. So we do watch TV together, kind of in an intentional way, not just a zone out.
Yeah. So it definitely takes prep on your side to make it work logistically, but it's very, very doable. And also takes you to stand your ground a little bit because there's counterculture.
Absolutely.
And even doing this for years, you get a lot of, well, but you guys can make it right. It wouldn't be the same if you weren't there, right? And the more we've drawn lines around that and protected that time for our family, it's easier to say no, and it's just a fact of life, and that's what it is. And
we've always been blessed by a Sunday at home for us.
Yeah. And it's been good for the whole family. Wouldn't regret it. The more we can encourage other families to kind of make that time, whether it's a Friday or it's a Sunday, whatever your life looks like, you don't have to commit for the rest of your life. Just challenge God to say, here's a time, here's a space, give me X amount of weeks and let me see if I can make this work. And I think you'll be surprised.
Or even if it's just a few hours, or maybe you think you don't even have a few hours, then I would just encourage you to ask God to maybe change your heart about that, start changing your schedule, asking Him for those things and see what He does for you, because it is a gift and it's quite a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely.